All right, let's go on to technology and communication update.
Okay.
Mike, they all left you.
Yeah, they didn't
Mike,
stick around.
Mike, that doesn't look like a Chromebook you plugged into the.
He's got his Chromebook.
Oh.
This is just a quick update from Mike and Chris, and I'm trying to get them in front of the board, if not on a monthly but a bi-monthly basis, to update you on the progress of the pilots and the different things where the PD and some of that. So.
We've already assembled our technology team. We had 37 applicants from the teachers and a couple staff members. They put in application how they were going to use this, expectations and things like that. They signed these. When the Chromebooks were given out, they were given a 45-minute training on how to use it. They were given documentation also to take with them so that if they had any questions, they could just refer back to the documentation. We also offered a second class which went over Google Apps basics, showed them how to set up such things as documents, how to share, things like that that they would use in their classroom. On November 21st, we're going to be going to Leiden. They are already a one-to-one Chromebook school. Every year they give several tours or conferences on how they've achieved their one-to-one. And we're planning on having a November date, and also we have signed up for February.
Some of the other things we've been working on is we looked at approximately 6 different learning management systems, and we've decided to go with 2 to pilot during the second semester, Haiku and Schoology. Both learning management systems are free to pilot, and they're similar in cost, and hopefully we'll be able to adopt one during the next school year. And then the next piece of information we have is just a summary of the parent technology survey that parents took this summer during the residency process. That was one thing that we didn't share out with you in the past. And so we had 1,105 families complete the survey, which I think is pretty comprehensive. I don't know the exact number of families in the district, but we feel like we did a good job of capturing a majority of the students at RB. And so of those families, 97% responded that they have a computer at home. And so that was approximately 1,065 families. And of those, 99% responded that they have internet at home. So from this survey, we had approximately 32 people that didn't have a computer at home, and that 20 of those people responded that they don't have a way to access computer on a regular basis. So 20 out of our entire student body.
I'm sorry, how many people responded to that?
1105.
Out of how many?
Families.
Oh, how many families are here?
I don't know the approximate number, but I would think that
1,500 or multiple families. Does that make sense? If you
It's
have
gotta
2
be
kids?
close.
gotta
Pretty
be
close.
the only students that we probably didn't get are transfer students who came in much later once the school year had already started. Even the transfer students that missed the residency process but came in before school started, we did ask them to take this survey when they came in to register.
That's still a good sample, so.
Yeah.
Last year, Ms. Haruska attended the one-to-one site visit at Leiden. We do have a seat reserved for a board member if somebody's interested in attending that.
When is it?
On November 21st.
I consider going unless somebody else wants to go.
What day is that?
I think it is a Thursday. Yeah, it's a Thursday.
Okay.
I'll reach out with the different board members and see where the facilities land, and
Okay.
I know we're trying to squeeze a committee in there too, so.
Anything else?
As far as communication updates, Dr. Skinkis is working with a communication consultant to generate a e-newsletter using a product called Constant Contact.
So I've been working with Mike, and also we've hired an outside consultant. I started to use that outside consultant as a purchase service last year, just on when we had to write a few key press releases, or if I had any literature that needed to go out. The same resource that I'm using a couple of the superintendents that I network with through the IASA, the Superintendents Association, were using her, and they were doing a monthly e-newsletter. So there will be a monthly e-newsletter that will go out not only to all the RB parents via Skyward, and the Skyward was dumped into Constant Contact, but this allows us to have that option where people in the community that are non-parents can sign up and be on our mailing list now and receive the e-newsletter. It'll be short, one page, just with some key tidbits about the district, but mostly about the high school, keeping the community and the parents in the loop. And then Mike and Kristen also brought to me a suggestion that we're evaluating and going to pilot, and I'll let Mike show that now, but we're also looking at establishing our own mobile app so that parents can buy a district, not buy, it's free, it would be free in either the iTunes store or the Google Play Store, but it's basically a shorter version of our webpage on an app for a smartphone, and it would work with either Droid phones or iPhones, and it would provide parents instant access to a couple key components of our website and information on their smartphones. So this is another strategy we're looking at, and I'll let Mike explain that.
And basically the reason why we're looking at this is that although our website has improved over the years, it's really optimized for laptops, tablets, bigger devices. When it comes to mobile devices, this is kind of what you see on there. And it does function, it's just that it's very small. And you're still kind of maneuvering around a regular size website on a 3 to 4 inch screen. So the product that we're looking at is actually called School Info App, and this is just an example they have where it'll take your information and just put it on the bottom here. You'll see it'll put it into different types of groups here, so that if you just wanted to go to the calendar, you just would hit this and you would see the calendar. Also, right here, like we have what's called an RSS feed, which is new announcements and stuff like that. That stuff would just go right to the front of it. So it's just taking what we have, and the one thing that's nice about this app is that the app itself, we don't have to constantly maintain it. When we make a change on our website, it changes to the app. So, and it just makes it in a nicer format that's easier to read on your mobile device.
We're looking at about annually 500 the first year and then a 250 refurbish every year, right? Or is it 500 a year?
I think it's 500 a year.
Okay, so it's not a huge expense to my budget, as well as with the e-newsletter. So, and this directly addresses the continuing to look for ways to reach out to the constituents of the district via communication vehicles other than just our website. So I just wanted to update you on that. Look for the first e-newsletter to come out in November. Mike and Kristen are looking at this. The one thing that we spend a lot of time on, we meet as a technology cabinet with the principal, and Kristen and Pam, Kristen, Mike, myself, Dave Fisher. We're also starting to lay out what that 3-year plan alongside of it is, the sustainability fiscally to manage that. And that's something that, as we continue to look at future budgets and projects, that's something we're going to need to continue because we want to make sure that the sustainability and repair and maintenance, as well as, do we provide machines? Do we have the parents buy their own machines? All these different questions is what we're investigating now over the next year to then provide more reports to the board. But something like $500 a year to increase our communication and have, newsletters going on. I think the newsletter is going to cost me roughly $250 an issue. So if you think about it, that's $2,500 roughly, that we'll be spending. But it's a way to not only communicate to our families, but it's a way to communicate to all the people in the community that don't have kids here or have graduates and stuff like that. So we took two good steps with communication with these initiatives.
All right, any questions for Kristen or Mike?
Can I ask 2 quick questions? The 20 students or families that said they didn't have access to compute on a regular basis, do students at our school have ability to access computers before and during and after school?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was from the parents' perspective
Yeah,
about
I
what the
understand.
parents did.
So if there's something that needs to be done, and they don't have a computer at home, hopefully they can do it in their study or after school.
Yeah, the library, the
Library.
library opens up, I believe, at 7:30 in the morning
Okay.
and stays open till 4 o'clock, or 7 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the second question, and I don't want to, if you can't answer this briefly, don't even try, just we could table it. But Gary asked you last meeting, why'd you go with Chromebooks? Did you consider this? Now, you picked two software applications, or three actually, in this presentation. What's the vetting process for you to, I mean, again, if it's too long of a question, because we have other things, we can table it and you can bring it up another time, but.
As far as, like, for instance, for...
I mean, you picked Constant Contact, you picked
Constant
the app
Contact.
School Info,
Haiku in school hours.
Haiku and Schoolology.
Haiku
are
and
the two.
Schoolology. You
So-
picked three or four.
Constant Contact's something totally different. That's just to manage our, getting our e-newsletter out.
Yeah, but we chose them as a vendor to do it, right?
That's a web.
That's just a web
Web
thing
service.
that our communication person recommended that she uses with the other groups to help get, it's not something similar
Oh, okay.
to them.
One, I'm sorry.
So for the learning management system, we first tried to identify what other schools in the area were using, and that was kind of what we used to generate the list. And then from there, we looked at the different features of each of them and what they offered both of our students, our parents, and our teachers. We looked to see if it's synced with our student management system, if it's synced with Google Apps. We looked at the cost, we looked at the setup time, we looked at the training and support that was available. And then that's how we selected the two that we're going to be piloting. And then from there, we'll have a series of questions, and we'll have the students take a survey after they experience the learning management system. We'll try to get that from the parents as well and from the teachers, so that we can then make a final decision
And
about which one.
when you say "we," was it this, I mean, how wide of a net and who makes the final decision? I mean, for instance, I assume we're not going to obtain some kind of software unless Mike says it's going to work on our system, right? But, so how wide do you reach out and who makes the final decision?
What we usually do is we usually do a basic search.
Okay.
You know, we find, will this do their basic needs? Then what we do is we set up a call with a representative from the company, and we ask them questions, we take notes. That's also where we find references for who's using it.
No, you don't have to, I want to know who the "we"
The
is.
we
Yeah.
is Mike and I.
Yeah, at this point,
You two,
yeah,
that's what I'm trying to find out,
And
is
it's a
it-
process too. Eventually, you know, it goes from us, and then it goes to a small pilot
Okay.
group where there's more testing. We find out if there's any problems. You know, what
Okay.
their opinions of the software is going
But
to be.
Mike always deals with the technical side of it, and I always deal with the practical implementation
But then
side.
they bring it to the technology cabinet with Kevin and
Okay.
me, and, you know, we discuss it, and they have to have their rationale, and we ask them the questions you're asking them.
Okay, any other questions?
Two comments. After your last presentation, I sent Kevin the flyer. Timothy Christian has just unilaterally sent the letter. They're going to the Chrome Google Books. And I think you had it. And one of the reasons they said that they didn't ask or anything, but one of the things Google has done, and they learned a lesson from Microsoft, is these apps are free to schools. And these are the apps that we're using now through Microsoft, the Word document and the Excel documents, but Microsoft is expensive to update and maintain. Now Google gives them to you for free. That's pretty clever. So, you know, that was one reason they explained that Google's been very school-friendly, and it's pretty universal now. And if anybody saw the stock markets, they actually did better, wiped out the stock markets. It was highest in a long time, and shares are 1,000 each. So,
Kristen and Mike, thank you very much for
riding
your
a nice
help
way.
on this.
What was I gonna? Oh, maybe, Kristen, because the learning management system is different than some of the software students use, maybe we could have a little presentation on what a learning management system does.
We can set that up.
In one of
at-
your bi-months.
Probably after the January 1, or December meeting, just because we got like 4 presentations the next couple weeks. But yes, I would think that's a great idea. Probably be better maybe later second semester, so that some of the teachers that are on the new tech pilot can come and talk about their 2 systems and how they're using it. So that's a good suggestion.
Right, because the learning management system the students aren't really accessing, that's not software they're using. That's the software that our teachers are using to, right?
It's a portal that connects the
portal with
teacher
their
and the student and the
educational
family, right?
Okay.
Okay?
Anything else? Thank you,
November-
Kristen and Mike. Appreciate
November
it.
21st is a Thursday.
The Thursday.
Ron.
Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it,
Thank
Pam.
you.
Thank you very much
Good
for your team. Let's hear it from them. All right, next item on our agenda.